Aaron Collins, Missouri Farm Bureau. Jim Rasick Auto Group. Sugarfoot Barbecue. Sounds Like Videos. Golden Valley Memorial Healthcare. Integrity Floors. The Landmark Restaurant. Clark Tire. C-Squared Embroidery and Screen Printing. Real Time Photography. Primitive Old Crow and Winery. Bernard Tax and Bookkeeping. Laura Anstein, Anstein Realty and Auction. Creative Paint and Supply. Aaron Collins, Missouri Farm Bureau. Jim Rasick Auto Group. Sugarfoot Barbecue. Sounds Like Videos. Golden Valley Memorial Healthcare. Integrity Floors. The Landmark Restaurant. Clark Tire. C-Squared Embroidery and Screen Printing. Real Time Photography. Primitive Old Crow and Winery. Bernard Tax and Bookkeeping. Laura Anstein, Anstein Realty and Auction. Creative Paint and Supply. Aaron Collins, Missouri Farm Bureau. Jim Rasick Auto Group. Sugarfoot Barbecue. Sounds Like Videos. Golden Valley Memorial Healthcare. Integrity Floors. The Landmark Restaurant. Clark Tire. C-Squared Embroidery and Screen Printing. Real Time Photography. Primitive Old Crow and Winery. Bernard Tax and Bookkeeping. Laura Anstein, Anstein Realty and Auction. Creative Paint and Supply.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Adrian High School, where the Clinton Cardinals are getting ready to take on the Adrian Blackhawks tonight in varsity volleyball action. Looking forward to a good game here tonight. The girls are ready to open up the season, and it's going to be exciting to see this matchup play out for the first time this year.
And number 14, Katie Mitchell. And at libero, number 9, Smith. And now for your Adrian Blackhawks. Number 1, Bailey Pitts. Number 7, Jocelyn Reynolds. Number 9, Elise Evans. Number 11, Braylon Ford. Number 17, Shelby Gatch. And number 2, Shelby Nevicat. And at libero, number 10, Kendall Wimsick.
All right, one last check here, and we are ready. Serve starts with Clinton tonight. Number 10, Elena Alexander, back to serve. Blackhawks really attacking the net today, but that one was just a little long and out of bounds. Second serve for Elena Alexander looks good. And that's Maddie Allard on the attack, number 13 for Clinton. And Adrian answers with a small dink and scores for Adrian. So that'll bring our score 1-1. Number 9, Elise Evans, serving for the Blackhawks. Diving attempt by Maddie Allard, but she's not quite able to reach the ball. That will bring the Blackhawks up 2-1. Long serve goes out of bounds for Adrian. 2-2. Maddie Allard back to serve for Clinton. And another point for Clinton on the serve. And an ace for Maddie Allard. Strong attack by number 3. That is Colby Jackson. And that's going to be called in the net for on Clinton. Girls were looking strong at the net on that last volley. Serve from number 11, Braylon Ford for Adrian. And Clinton will score the point, take back possession. That will put Clinton up 5-3 over the Adrian Blackhawks here in the first game. Mercedes Brown to serve for Clinton. And that will be one for Clinton, bringing them up 6-3. And off the fingertips of Clinton, so it will be Adrian ball still. Good attack by Morgan Hendrich. And Paige Gillen to serve for Clinton now. Clinton leading Adrian 7-4. And the attack by Colby Jackson blocked by Adrian. Right back to her, and she puts this one over. And point Clinton will bring them up 8-4. Good serve by Paige Gillen on that one. And a nice save for Adrian. A nice volley here by both teams. And the attack by Morgan Hendrich just a little bit outside the bounds. So Adrian will take the point and the possession on that one. 8-5, Clinton still leading over Adrian. Serve by number 10, Kendall Wimsett. And that will be out, so Adrian takes the point. And Kobe Jackson back to serve for Clinton. Long ball spiked by Adrian, goes out of bounds. They're going to call that off the fingers of Clinton and give the ball back to Adrian. And it looks like number 2, Shelby Nebecat back to serve for the Adrian Blackhawks. Make sure we get the substitution recorded properly and back to play. The serve is just a little bit short there. now we'll have number 5 Morgan Hendrich back to serve for Clinton. Clinton leading 10-7 now in the ball game. First game of the night. Nice. And the set just a little off the net there. Clinton manages to dink it back over. And that will bring Clinton up 11-7. And a nice block for Clinton there, and it's out of bounds. Point will go to Clinton. That will bring the score to 13-7. Clinton leading over the Adrian Blackhawks, and Adrian will take their first time out. And we're coming back to play now here as the timeout comes to a close. And I want to make sure that I say thanks to our sponsors. We have Jim Rasick Auto Group. We have Golden Valley Memorial Hospital and C-Squared Embroidery. Also, our halftime sponsors include Aaron Collins, Missouri Farm Bureau. I want to make sure I get him mentioned in there too. And the serve is a little long, so that will bring the ball back to Clinton. That's going to be number 10, Elena Alexander, to serve for Clinton. And Adrian not able to return that serve. So Clinton will put that one on the board, bringing the score 15-8. Good attack there by Mercedes Brown. Adrian is able to return that. And Elena Alexander with a quick dunk over the net. And the spike by Mercedes Brown is good. Point Clinton, that will bring our score 17 for the Clinton Cardinals, 8 for the Adrian Blackhawks here in the first game of the night. Serve is long, so that will give possession back to Adrian. And that looks like number 9, Elise Evans, to serve. A little confusion on the play, and Clinton gives up possession to Adrian again. And the serve is in. That will bring our score to 11 for the Blackhawks. 17 Clinton Cardinals here leading in the first game. Spike is out, so that will be Clinton ball. And number 13, Maddie Allard, back to serve for Clinton. Double hit called on Adrian, so that will be a Clinton point. 19-11 is the score, with Clinton leading. And that serve will go out of bounds. Braylon Ford serving for Adrian, and the serve is long and out of bounds. Point for Clinton, 20-12. Clinton leading over Adrian tonight. And number 11, Mercedes Brown, back to serve. Will be off the fingers and point Clinton. And Adrian will take another timeout. So we'd like to thank our sponsors here tonight, Golden Valley Memorial Hospital, Missouri Farm Bureau, and Jim Ray Cigardo Group for sponsoring our halftime break here. These guys, all three of them are a big part of our community in Clinton, and we're really grateful that we have them and that they're willing to help us bring you the game here. And for a lot of games this season, we're going to try some volleyball and hopefully get some soccer games in there. And that's because of these sponsors. So be sure and stop in, say hi to them, tell them thanks for sponsoring the sports for us here this season. So back to play here in game one, 21-12, Clinton leading over Adrian. Service from Mercedes Brown comes in. And that is out, so point Clinton. 22-12. Mercedes Brown serving for Clinton. A tough attack on the net, and Clinton isn't quite able to pull that one out. So Adrian will take over possession. Number 1, Bailey Pitts, back to serve. with the ace on the serve. Oh, it's number 1, Bailey Pitts. And another ace for Bailey Pitts of Adrian. 22-16 is the score here. First game of the night with Clinton leading the Lady Blackhawks. And off the Clinton fingertips, that will be point Adrian, 22-17. Clinton still leading in the ballgame. So not quite able to make the kill there. Clinton will take over possession. And number 4, Paige Gillen back to serve. And an ace for Paige. 24-17, Clinton leading over the Lady Blackhawks. Quick attack by Morgan Hendrich is just a little too low, catches the net and bounces back. So Adrian will take possession. It's going to be number 10, Kendall Wimsatt, back for Adrian to serve. The ball hits the floor on the Clinton side of the net, so that will be point Adrian, 24-19. And we're going to get another timeout here in the ball game as we look at game point for Clinton. So Jim Rasick is one of our halftime sponsors here tonight. And
timeout sponsors?
Yeah, timeout sponsors.
Timeout sponsors.
Hey, James, how are you?
I'm finally here.
I normally introduce everybody before the game, but we had a little trouble with the internet connection tonight and didn't get a chance to do that. I'm Stacy Hinkle here with you tonight, and of course James just jumped on the headset for a minute. We have Josh Williams with us tonight running programming, so you know, he's the one responsible for the great camera angles that you get to see there. But I want to say just real quick here, you know, go see Jim. Speaking from experience, I just wrote him a nice check last week. And I suggest that anybody who's shopping go do the same, because they really do know how to take care of their customers.
If you're looking for a car, go see Jim. If you're looking for a truck, that's what we did. We went and found a truck.
That's right. Hey, I'm going to take you back to the ball game here. Service by Adrian was a long serve out of bounds. That gives game point to Clinton. So Clinton will take the first game. I believe that was 25-19.
Okay.
So game one going to Clinton here tonight at Adrian. You know, both teams are really getting up and attacking the net. They both look good. You know, you never know coming out that first game of the season what you're going to see. And you get out here, the kids are a little nervous. You know, you're back to the first game, like I said. And this year especially, things have been so uncertain. Are we going to get to play? How are we going to play? You know, what's going to work, what's not? So to see the kids coming out here and really getting into the game and attacking the ball, playing hard. And we've had several really good volleys back and forth here between these two teams. It's been a really good game.
Am I making a lot of noise?
Yes, you are.
I'm trying to get situated over here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is James Hinkle with Sounds Like Videos, and we are live on multiple platforms. Most of you, it looks like, are watching on the high school Facebook page, and big thanks to the Jason Abner, and all of them over there that allowed us to jump on board here and actually stream to their Facebook page. As Stacy has talked about, it has been a long off season, considering the fact there's been no sports. I know that we spent a lot of times talking with the administrators and actually in the schools and working with them, doing several graduations even throughout the region. These guys really haven't had any time off. Normally they get a little bit of a summer break, but that was not the case. They were constantly in the schools making changes, doing what they needed to do, and I cannot say enough how much I appreciate what the administration and all these schools have had to do. And it was an impossible task. And ladies and gentlemen, we are still able to have sports. So big kudos to all of them. And it looks like we're getting ready to start the second game.
I do want to point something out real quickly here for those of you that are volleyball fans and that have watched games in the past. You might notice the girls did not switch sides. In the past, they would have switched sides and played the opposing sides of the court. This year, that's different. We're keeping the same sides throughout the evening now. So, and you'll notice it's not just varsity, but all of the games we played here tonight, Clinton was on the Clinton side and Adrian on the Adrian side, and we're not switching. So just in case you noticed that we didn't switch and wondered why, that's why.
So, Stacy, I know I printed out rosters. Did I print out enough for myself?
I'll gladly share with you.
Oh, wow. I like this. I'm looking at the roster for Adrian, and I'll have to admit I'm getting a little old, and my eyes cannot see that small a text. So
Adrian's first serve was batted around a little bit, and then finally the spike went out of bounds. Point Clinton. So Clinton's first serve of the game came from Elena Alexander, and they were able to score on that. So we just witnessed her second serve of the ball game.
Of course, Clinton has a lot of returning players from last year. A lot of familiar faces you'll see out there.
And the call is going to be out of bounds, but are they going to call it off the fingertips of Clinton, looks like.
Yes.
So Adrian will take the ball. And we're going to have number 9, Elise Evans, back to serve. And the attack is going to be out of bounds, so Adrian will take back possession. That'll bring our score up to a tie, 2-2. Clinton and Adrian here tonight. This is game 2.
Yeah.
And a nice save by Katie Mitchell there to dig that one up. Clinton not quite able to return it, but boy, what an effort.
So have you had? I haven't been able to listen in or even watch, but I'm just jumping in here. Have we had a chance to talk about Clinton's new coach?
Not yet. You know, I am pretty focused on names and numbers. I miss a lot of the other details.
Yeah. You know, that is one thing that we do have. We do have a new coach for Clinton, the Clinton Cardinals, Coach Turner. It is her first year as a teacher, first year as a head coach as well. And she's also going to be the assistant coach for soccer as well.
Served by number 13, Maddie Allard. There is an ace that will bring Clinton back into the tie, 4-4 with Adrian.
I tell you what, that came right over the net. I mean, there was probably not a half an inch of clearance that she was able to get that over the net. And here comes her next one. Actually hits the net. Oh, nice dig, but does not come up with
4 hits on the Adrian side of the ball, so that will be Clinton point.
Yeah, you know, that was a great dive, and it looked like she was actually going to be able to hit that and bump that over the net. So good job by Adrian there.
So Adrian just a little out of control in this second game. They are struggling a little bit more than they did the first time.
Yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm watching the game, and it is obvious that Adrian has talent there. They just look like they're a little rusty, which is quite honestly what you would expect. I mean, practices haven't been normal and those types of things. It just looks like they're not quite into the rhythm.
And it's the first game.
It is.
So, I mean, even at this point, though, we've had maybe some scrimmages or jamborees in some of the schools. That first game is always rough. You just don't have the same atmosphere.
Okay, we're going to go to our timeout sponsor, which is Missouri Farm Bureau, Aaron Collins. Now, we're familiar with Mr. Aaron Collins, aren't we?
Yeah, he's my neighbor. His office is right there next to mine in the shopping center.
Yeah, and where is your office?
Oh, Truman. I don't know.
Clinton Corners.
Clinton Corners. Thank
Corners.
you. I'm confused. We just bought a new office today, and I get confused about which one you're talking about.
What? You bought a new office?
Bernard Tax expanded today, but that's not important. We're talking about Missouri Farm
Bureau.
Bureau.
That's right.
Yeah, Aaron takes really good care of his customers. He was really quick to add that new truck we bought to our insurance policy for me. It took him about 10 minutes, and I was out the door. So I really appreciate all they do for us.
That bright, shiny, used truck we just bought.
Maddie Allard to serve for Clinton.
Here comes the spike. Oh, she just kind of bumps it over. Set.
And Adrian not able to pull that one off the ground. So Clinton will move up 8-4 over the Adrian Blackhawks.
Now we're doing something they're doing something a little different with varsity volleyball this year. In the past, it was always the best out of 3, but now Misha has changed it. Oh, nice save there by Adrian.
And Clinton comes back, stays on the attack. And they are going to call that out of bounds.
Oh, it was out of bounds.
Clinton will get the possession.
That looked like it was in, and it was, very well played. And, it looks like Adrian's starting to show a little bit of a spark here. Even though they did not get the point on that one, they were able to save that one that was caught up in the net. A little bit of misstep there. But in the last few plays, they definitely look like they're kind of putting a few things together here. Here we go with the set. Oh.
And the set was a little behind her. She couldn't quite get her feet under her. I think that was Braylon Ford trying to back up on that one. And, boy, that's tough. You get yourself, the ball too far behind you. You just can't get around on it. That will bring Clinton up 11-4, second game here in the series.
So she does have a wicked serve.
She does.
And they're not all just that fast right over the net. There's some that she's putting over. She's mixing it up is what she's doing. And when you do that, that's hard to predict. And it keeps your opponent on their toes and keeps them guessing, which gives you a competitive edge. And here's a spike.
And
it
that
was
will be
in.
That was an amazing kill there by Clinton.
Should be watching these on instant replay. that was a very good kill right there. Are we allowed to use that term in high school? Spike. Should we call them spikes?
I know. Mercedes Brown to serve to Clinton. To serve for Clinton.
Yeah. We've seen Mercedes play a lot last year as a freshman. I guess I should have paid closer attention. I thought she was already a sophomore last year, but this year actually she is a sophomore. Can they save this? Nope, a little bit of a misstep there. 12-7 is the score. This is the second match. Am I got the right? They call them matches. I'm sure.
Second game.
Second game. Oh, nice dig there, and
a great hit by Morgan Hendrich.
Another great save. Oh, but
a good dig, but not quite able to save that one. That's number 10, Kendall Wimsett for Adrian, and I've seen her doing a lot of good things here tonight.
Yeah, Wimsett has definitely earned that position there in the center.
Serve by number 4, Paige Gilland, and Adrian is not able to return that one. Score is 14-7. Clinton leading over Adrian right now in game 2.
Here's the serve. Oh, it's in the net.
In the net.
You know, last year, Paige played most of the year with a knee brace on. Now, what the injury was, I don't know, but definitely kind of plagued her throughout last year. But by the time we got into basketball, she didn't wear the brace anymore, and it didn't seem to affect her. And, of course, if you watch the way she's playing tonight, she's doing very well. I believe this is Clinton's second game. They played last night. Actually,
spike
at
by
home.
Morgan Hendrich. Adrian does return it.
Nice bump with Paige. Oh, but comes up and gets it into the net. It's a little dark on our camera, but there is a packed crowd in here tonight. We're not at full capacity, but there's definitely a lot of people in here.
And a nice little dink by number 3, Colby Jackson there.
Jackson, yeah, she could have set that, but she seen an opening there and just bumped it back over into an empty spot. So, want to appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. These schools and the players and coaches have gone through so much to get to this point, and to be able to be here and to live stream this and to provide this for the community and for the parents and the players. I feel honored to be here, and just want to thank you all very much from the bottom of my heart for watching and tuning in. While you are watching, tuning in, help us spread the word. Let more people see by simply clicking the share button. By doing that, more and more people get to see that they can actually watch Cardinal volleyball right here on Facebook Live. Oh,
good
nice block.
By Clinton there, number 5 and number 10. That's Morgan Hendrich and Elena Alexander.
Morgan really using her height there. And of course, now she goes back to serve. On my sheet, it doesn't have her height on here, but she's got to be at least 6 foot. Oh, and that goes out of bounds.
So that will be Clinton's point. That'll bring our score 17-12 here. Second game of the night. Clinton leading over Adrian at this time.
Just in case you're wondering, the C team and JV played before this. Oh, that's going to go out of bounds. Adrian was able to win both of those, the C and the JV game. So I seen that somebody posted online on the news feed below asking that question. So just want to make sure everybody knows. We weren't able to live stream that, but we do have the JV or varsity going here. Oh, a nice spike by Brown.
Got a big bounce off the net on that one from Mercedes Brown.
Tell you what, she had a lot of power in that swing.
Elena Alexander back to serve for Clinton.
Nice dig by Clinton. Sets up. Allard bumps it up, and falls down, gets up, and bumps it back over. Wow, she's really showing her athleticism. That will be Adrian's ball because that came off the fingertips of a Clinton player.
And I want to just interject for a minute. You said nice dig by Clinton there a minute ago. I want to call out number 14. That's Katie Mitchell, and because of the position Katie plays, she does not serve the ball generally. So we don't call her name as much as the others. But let me tell you, she hustles just as much as the others, and she is always in on the big plays like that. And Mercedes Brown with the kill.
Big.
There was no doubt that one was going right through the center.
Yeah.
So 19-14 here, Clinton leading over Adrian.
Yeah.
Second game of the night.
And she's only a sophomore, so we're going to see her doing that a lot for the next few years. There she is. She mixes those serves up. They're not all those really fast serves that you kind of expect. She mixes that up, and this next one, it could be a fast one. It could be just bumped back over like that last one. There's a little speed on this one. Sets up. Nice little tip back over.
Tip by Colby Jackson there. That was Maddie Allard on the serve. We'll take a quick timeout here for Adrian, and then we'll be back to let her serve again.
Of course, Golden Valley Memorial Healthcare is one of our timeout sponsors. Through this, we want to appreciate them because they make all this happen.
And didn't I see on their sign out front, and I think I saw it in the newspaper too, weren't they voted one of the top 10 small hospitals in Missouri?
I didn't catch that, but I would not be surprised.
I'm pretty sure it is. And they are always in the top of something. They strive in everything they do out there to excel and really manage to get it done. We are really lucky to have such an amazing facility in our small town.
Yes, and not only in ours, but they have locations in other places as well, including Osceola.
Sure. Osceola, Windsor, Warsaw, I believe. And who knows how many other things I don't even know about.
We might have missed a few here, but here we're going back to action here.
So Maddie Allard back to serve for Clinton.
The spike.
Adrian sets up the attack.
Set.
Clinton comes back again. Paige Gilland on that one. Another good volley here. Clinton going over in two, hoping to catch them off guard, but it just doesn't quite work out for them.
Allard goes for the dig, but comes up a little short. Comes off the court.
Braylon Ford, number 11 for Adrian, back to serve.
What's that? Just want to say thanks to Josh
Colby Jackson
for doing our producing tonight. Doing a fine job. Came in during the off season. We got him all trained up. Actually, he didn't need much training. He's kind of a guru with all this as well. He's also one of our sponsors, Real Time Photography, and he also does he has a YouTube channel where he does movie reviews. Back to action.
I saw a few of his prints from some of the car show images he did a few weeks back. They were really impressive.
Nice spike by Jackson.
That'll bring the score up 23-15. Clinton leading here over Adrian in the second game of the night.
Don't be fooled by the score here. Adrian actually is probably better than what the score's showing. It just looks like they haven't quite knocked off the rust from the offseason. They haven't quite got, the communication down and stuff.
Well,
but the girls, I mean, individually they're doing fine. It's just as a group they're not quite gelled yet. And
keep in mind, too, that Clinton School District is a little bit bigger than Adrian, and their bench is a little bit deeper. So when you play a freshman game and a JV game and a varsity game, some of these girls are starting to wear a little bit more.
Yeah, and, you know, and even with that, like I said, the talent's there. It just, they haven't quite gelled yet. You know. If you just watch the movements, they're not going right where they need to, and one of these rare occasions where they lost sight of the ball and it just dropped right in there behind Morgan. But good volley on that. You know, both teams fighting this out. Adrian, even though they are down, they're not playing like they're out.
Attempt to block, not quite there. And
Brown comes in from the back, gets it over the net.
Not quite able to dig that one out, so Adrian will put another point on the board, 23-18 now. Clinton's still leading over Adrian here in game 2.
Yeah. See, Adrian's really showing a spark here. Like I said, I mean, they've got the talent. They hadn't quite gelled yet, and they may be doing that right here in this game. Nice dig. And be able to get the ball back over. Jackson, once again, instead of going for the spike, just tips the ball off into an area where there's not a Blackhawk player.
So that will bring up game point for Clinton here in game 2, and we have Paige Gillen back to serve for Clinton. Serve right through the middle. And the spike a little long for Jackson, so that will be point Adrian. 19 for Adrian, 24 Clinton Hill. Yeah. Still a game point situation.
And because of her right there, I went and moved our camera that's in the behind, actually up on stage. There we go. Spike. Oh.
Good try. Not quite able to dig that one out. That will bring up 25-19. Clinton wins game 2. And I believe the first game was 25-19 as well. So both teams very consistent at this point, playing a pretty similar game. I think you're right. Adrian looks a little less organized, I guess, if you can use that term here. That a little bit more chaos sometimes on their play. And just a little bit more fatigue, I think, showing in Adrian than in Clinton right now.
Well, speaking of fatigue, here in this gymnasium, it is probably, I would say it's easily in the 80s. Easily, if not a little warmer. This place is packed full. Whenever we got here for the C team was actually playing at the time, and this place was jam-packed and still is right now. Of course, we want to say thanks to all our sponsors for making this happen. Of course, we got our timeout sponsors and then all our graphic sponsors who are rolling across the screen as we speak. Appreciate those guys so much. A lot of these people took a chance. They're like, okay, we'll go ahead and sponsor even though, hey, we may not even have sports. Appreciate them so much for that. One thing, this is our first year of actually covering volleyball. We tested the market a little bit last year at the very end. We did a few games. And seeing that there was definitely a need. And, of course, this year everything changed. There's a lot of people who just aren't going to be able to come to games that because of coronavirus. That it's best if they just sit and they can watch from home, and we're glad to provide that service for those people. And all that is because of our sponsors, who Josh has now taken off the screen. So, and Josh is pointing out, because he's a great producer, that some of our batteries are starting to get a little low. So I may duck out of here for a few seconds, let Stacy take take the reins all by herself. She's been doing a great job. Doing a great job. Of course, you know, she's a former player herself. Who'd you play for again?
I might have done this once or twice.
She played for Lakeland. So I'm going to go plug in some batteries, and I'll be right back. But thank you all very much for tuning in.
All right, we're just about ready to start Game 3 here tonight of the varsity matchup between the Clinton Lady Cardinals and the Adrian Lady Blackhawks. We are at Adrian High School tonight, so it was a nice little drive across the country today, about 45 miles from Clinton. We'll just make sure that we've got all the numbers appropriately recorded and everything ready to go on the books before we get started. Of course, these two teams have been playing really well, matched up well tonight. We've had a lot of long series, several back and forth volleys that have been really entertaining to watch, and both groups of girls doing a really great job staying focused on the ball and making sure that they are coming up with some good attacks. We've seen a couple of really good blocks on the defensive side of the ball, and just some really good effort here. And you know, you got to say, kudos to these girls for practicing and working as hard as they do, despite the fact that they didn't even know if they were going to get to play a competitive game this year. So we're really glad for them that they've been able to come out here and play and compete with each other. And we hope that safely continues through the rest of the season.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, I don't know if you said anything earlier, but want to give a shout out and a big thanks to the Adrian administration here. In order to live stream this, of course, we have to have high-speed internet to do so. And like a lot of schools, they have security measures in place. And sometimes getting past those security measures is a little difficult. So they actually had the IT person drive in from Butler in order to be able to hook us up so we could live stream tonight. So
that's right.
Big thanks to them for that. Here we go.
Elena Alexander starting off for Clinton with the serve. Mm-hmm. And the first attack by Adrian is in the net, so that'll be point Clinton.
You know, right away, you've seen that Adrian, they're starting to talk a little bit more on that very first play. And at the end of this second game, they're actually showing some definite improvement.
A little bit of difficulty right now over there on that far side. The ball placement from the setter hasn't been real great, so they're having a little trouble there, but they'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And a good block by Clinton. That was Maddie Alexander and Mercedes Brown, I believe. And that's
Maddie.
I stole from your playbook. It's Maddie Allard.
Allard.
And you've created a bad habit for me. That was a great spike.
All last season I was calling her, what was it, Mallard?
Yes, that was a great spike by Maddie Allard.
She's not a duck. She's not a duck. She's a very talented young lady. So now I'm going to say it, Maddie Allard, not her would-be nickname.
Yes.
Oh,
and
nice
an
serve.
Ace for Elena Alexander on the serve. Just barely grazed the net as it went over there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those are the worst. They're coming at you really hard and fast, and they catch the net just enough to slow them down, and you can't quite reach them. Mm-hmm. Another ace.
Another ace.
And that would be 6 in a row service points for Elena Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
So what a way to open up Game 3 here tonight, leading 6-0 over the Adrian Blackhawks. Clinton is really enjoying themselves out there, it looks like. We see Adrian coming back to the right side with those sets now.
Oh, hit one towards the back.
That's going to be out, but off the fingertips of Clinton.
Well, I'm telling you, every once in a while I'll look down actually at the screen at what Josh is doing and tell you he's doing a great job. This is such a fast-moving sport. And here's the serve.
That's Bailey Pitts for Adrian on the serve. And a nice spike by Mercedes Brown.
To make those switches and anticipate the ball movement, Josh is doing a great job. And
Good
that goes
spike by Allard, Maddie Allard, but it's a little bit long.
She's not a duck. Oh, I'm going to get a text.
So Adrian battling back here a little bit from a 6-0 deficit, 3-6 now, still trailing Clinton. And
that lands in.
That was great placement right in the far corner, and there's just nothing you can do to get to those kind of balls.
Yeah. Adrian's really, they're starting to work together, you know. It's almost like they've loosened up a little bit and having a little fun here. Of course.
Well, and maybe a little motivation, too. When your freshman team and your JV team win, there's a little bit of determination to prove yourself when you get to your varsity game.
Yeah. Off the fingertips of Brown, and that will be a Blackhawk point. Yeah. You know, Clinton started off up 6, and now it's 5-7. You know, that's one thing I like to see is, you know, a team just not give up. Just stay in the game.
Absolutely.
Oh, instead of the spike, she goes and just tries to bump it over, but a little too light on that and doesn't actually get over the net. It's okay. Paige will get her next time. Here's a set.
Jackson with
Jackson in net.
It will be out of bounds.
It will be out of bounds. It was close. It was close.
Could not tell from my angle if Adrian got a hand on it at the net, but apparently not. So that would tie the ball game now, 7-7.
Oh, and Adrian will take the lead.
And Clinton will take a timeout to regroup and get their feet back underneath them.
I want to say thanks to our timeout sponsor, Missouri Farm Bureau, Aaron Collins. Aaron has always been a big supporter of sports in the area. So we thank him for coming on board. Of course, his brother is the principal and head coach of the boys basketball team at Lakeland. Speaking of Lakeland and some of the other schools in the area, we will be live streaming other sports or other teams as well. That would be Osceola, Lakeland.
Well, Osceola and El Dorado Springs Thursday night, right?
Yes. Actually, Thursday night we'll be in El Dorado Springs for the Osceola Eldo game.
And also at the same time at
Lakeland. That's right.
Is that Ballard they're playing Thursday night over there?
I believe so.
I think so.
So one thing is keep an eye on our social media on Sounds Like Videos to see. Oh, Jackson goes down for the dig but does not come up with it.
A nice kill for Adrian, and they've kind of found their momentum here in this game 3 tonight.
Yeah. So one thing that we're doing differently with this schedule is we've kind of set our schedule up, but we're going to be a little fluid with that. Oh, tries to save but does not manage to good effort, very good effort there, but does not manage to get it.
It's great
the ball
hustle
back in.
by Katie Mitchell, and you know, she, like I said earlier, she works really hard, and we don't call her name out nearly as much as I would like.
Yeah, keep an eye on our schedule on our Facebook page because we've set our schedule, but things will have to move and change.
So with that ace, Adrian will move ahead 11-7 over Clinton here in Game 3, and they are really battling back.
Sets, Brown spikes the ball, goes off the ceiling, and then
Great dig, but just a little too much on it, and Adrian can't keep it in play.
So what is the rule on that? If it actually hits the rafters and the ceilings like it just does, is it still in play?
It is still in play as long as it remains on their side of the net. If it crosses the net and comes out on the other side of the court, that is a dead ball.
Okay.
And that is an ace for Mercedes Brown.
And it looks like she said that was a fingertip? No? Okay. Brown to serve.
So 12-9, Adrian leading Clinton here in Game 3. We
course,
have
Clinton
Shelby
took the
Nebucat. I hope I'm pronouncing that
Yeah.
right.
You're probably close.
A little too much power on that one, goes out of bounds. So Clinton will take possession, and we'll have Paige Gillen back to serve.
Here's the set. Gillen bumps it up. Morgan knocks it out of bounds.
Nice power behind that one, but just not quite in the line.
13-10. Blackhawks lost the first two games, but they have definitely came out in this third one and said, no, you're not going to take it that easy. Of course, that ball goes out of bounds.
And that'll bring up Jackson to serve for Clinton. 13-11, Clinton trailing by 2 here in Game 3. So the teams trade serves here, and back to Adrian.
Jackson goes to the bench and brings out, I can't see her number, number 9.
That's Breanne Smith for Clinton.
Allard bumps the ball over instead of spiking the ball. You know, that's one thing that we're seeing is these girls are showing a lot of maturity in the choices they make at the net. It's not all smack the ball as hard as you can. It's, you know, they're looking, they're thinking through what they're going to do, and if there's an opportunity just to bump it over just like that, like Allard did, they're taking those shots. They're working very well as a team. They seem to be smooth and fluid in their movements as well.
That was Morgan Hendrich on the serve, and now that she's finished with that serve, she'll rotate out and bring back in Katie Mitchell. Maddie Allard with the kill there. Putting a point on the board for Clinton. And we'll have Elena Alexander back to serve.
Nice block. Back in and gets it back over the net.
Katie Mitchell from the back row on that.
Up through the rafters and over the net. It didn't. It actually went up through the rafters, but did not touch any of them.
And that's the key. It did not touch.
It did not
Had
touch
it hit anywhere and gone across, broken the plane of the net, it would not have been a live ball.
Oh, Nice try there, nice dig, but unfortunately came up a little short.
16-14 now. Adrian still leading over Clinton here in game 3. And what a game it is. Both teams are fighting hard.
She sets. Brown spikes the ball. Good recovery by Adrian.
We see a lot of power on this Clinton team. They do a really good job. I think they're going to call Adrian in the net on that.
Okay, yeah, I mean, somebody got in the net because it was definitely bouncing back and forth. Out.
And that's going to be a long serve for Maddie Allard, out of bounds.
That brings in, is that number 9? Yeah. Is she not on our roster, number 9? So, anyway. Smith, okay. Apologize for that. Want to get all the girls' names in here.
So Mercedes Brown back to serve for Clinton now.
Adrian able to get it over. Brown sets. Morgan just bumps it over. Brown sets.
Little too close to the net. Not able to dig it out there.
Paige tries to flip it up, but just a bad set there. 18-16. Adrian in the lead. Oh.
I think
That was
Mercedes knew at the minute she swung, she probably shouldn't have. The look on her face said, I wish I hadn't.
Oh. The crowd is not happy with that. So we just move on. Oh, missed hit there, but they're able to get the ball over. Paige sets. Jackson spikes.
And the point will go to Clinton. So Clinton able to capitalize there and bring the score to a tie ball game, 18-18, and Paige Gillen back to serve for Clinton. And they're going to call Adrian in the net on that one. So Clinton will get the ball and take the lead now here in game 3, 19-18.
In this game, this is the first time this isn't the first time they've led.
Yep, they started off strong.
Yeah.
And then Adrian has really fought back.
Yeah. You know, some of the missteps.
That's in, so Adrian will take back possession.
You know, the mistakes you've seen earlier in the first 2 games, Adrian they're not making those mistakes now, which is why the score is now 19-19. I mean, they seem to really start to communicate more as a team. Oh, what an awesome dig there by Brown.
Amazing.
Wow. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a conference here. We got the the replay going there, Josh?
Looks like we're checking the card here. I'm wondering if we're checking positioning, maybe. So someone on the Clinton team, it looks like, might have been out of position.
Yeah.
So Adrian will take possession of the ball. 20-19, Adrian leading.
Brown bumps it up. Paige
Served
sets.
by Jocelyn Reynolds.
Oh. Yeah. She sat there and she had the opportunity to hit the ball, but she thought it was going to go out of bounds. Sometimes you just have to make those judgment calls, and unfortunately it landed on the line, and here we are going to go to a timeout.
Timeout, Clinton.
And, of course, one of our timeout sponsors is Jim Rasick. Go see Jim on the loop.
On the loop.
On the loop.
Yeah, I love that commercial. Well, or several of the commercials actually, where the girls are all saying "on the loop." It's so great. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, those commercials were on cable. And I must say that was a good commercial. The production on it was top quality.
I just, I am a fan of commercials. I have to admit it, and I apologize in advance to the sports people, the fans out there, but I'm the person who watches the Super Bowl for the commercials.
Yeah.
And so, I notice those things, and I am really impressed.
Yeah. Well, in case you didn't catch that, I actually produced those television commercials for Jim Rasick. That played there on the cable networks. Big thanks to Jim for not only being our timeout sponsor, but he is also our scoreboard sponsor as well.
So the serve is out of bounds.
Serve is out.
And so that point will go to Clinton, and they will take over the serve now. 20-21, still just behind the Adrian Blackhawks. And we've got number 9, Brianne Smith, to serve. Nice block at the net by Clinton, and they will force that ball back, and Adrian not able to recover. So Clinton moves to tie the game, 21-21. And this one has been tied or very close and back and forth most of the game.
Very much so. Oh, nice block by Allard.
And, I would have said in the first two games that Clinton's offense was definitely the highlight of their game. It was the reason for their wins. But in this game, their defense has come back and is stronger than I have seen it. And it's been good all night, but this game they've really stepped up to show those defensive skills.
Speaking of stepping up, Golden Valley Memorial Hospital, who is one of our sponsors, in the midst of coronavirus, they have really had to step up and do what they do best, and they've done a great job, and they've taken care of our community when we have had instances of that, as well as all the other health needs for our community, not only here in Clinton, but throughout our region as well. So big thanks to them for being our timeout sponsor. Back to the action.
Clinton on the serve now. We are game 3 of the night. Clinton leading 22-21 over Adrian. A nice block for Clinton there. That was Alexander and Hendrick for the block. And Adrian not able to recover from that. So Clinton will take another point and widen that lead just a little bit. 23-21 here on game 3. Nice little dink by Morgan Hendrick. And we're going to call Adrian in the net. So that will go point to Clinton and bring up game point, 24-21. Adrian will take another timeout here to try and slow the roll. And we're going to recognize our timeout sponsor, Missouri Farm Bureau, and Aaron Collins. That's the agent there in Clinton. And if you haven't seen the office, go by. They're on Ohio Street at the Clinton Corner Shopping Center across from Casey's. And, while you're there, check out the other vendors in the shopping center. I'm particularly fond of Blue Ribbon Bakery.
Yes, good old Blue Ribbon Bakery. Only, 3 doors down, 2 doors down from your office?
Close enough.
All right.
So game point here for Clinton in game 3. And this would also take the set for them.
And you can hear the Clinton crowd cheering on.
Girls on the
and
team.
Here is your game point. Clinton will take all 3 games.
And that's it, 25-21. Clinton takes game 3 of the series. And you see the really strong team building that Clinton has instilled in their players there. And they know it's game point, and the entire bench is sitting and they're clapping and cheering. And a little, can we call that an end zone celebration?
Yeah, a little bit of an
end
end zone.
I think we should. Kind of an end zone celebration there.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we don't traditionally get, you know, the good game that we have in the past. And, you know, it's unfortunate that we don't have that aspect of the game this year. But I think we all realize we kind of have to, you know, keep our hands to ourselves, so to speak.
So as the girls make it back to the locker room, I hope they don't knock my camera over, which is right there at the top of the stairs. At the Somebody whacked it earlier.
So really good night for Clinton. Clinton varsity, 3 out of 3 games to take the match, and the girls really played hard. We saw a lot of good, strong offense. And we saw some really great defense, several blocks at the net, a lot of great digs from the girls in the backcourt, and you know, they are really playing hard, and they came out strong and really showed us that they're excited about some volleyball this year. We're really glad to see that, and hopefully that is a good indication of things to come for the rest of the season.
Well, we knew going into the season that Clinton was going to have a good volleyball team, and they're probably also going to have a really good basketball team as well. You've got a lot of these girls have been playing together since they were young. You know, a lot of these girls who are now seniors were actually starting as, you know, sophomores and freshmen, of course, as well.
Sure, they've had a lot of time to build and get to gel together as a team, and I think we're seeing the results of that time and that effort. So, you know, congratulations to the Clinton Lady Cardinals tonight on their win over the Adrian Lady Blackhawks, and we look forward to seeing them in action again soon. Just really quickly here as we close, I want to say thanks to everyone for joining us on the live stream here tonight. Especially thanks to Jim Rasick, who is our scoreboard sponsor and halftime timeout sponsor this year. Also, our other timeout sponsors, Aaron Collins and Missouri Farm Bureau, and also Golden Valley Memorial Healthcare. Without these sponsors, it wouldn't be possible for us to be here and bring the game to you. And we know that especially for some of the parents or grandparents that aren't able to come out and watch, this gives them another alternative to be here, be with us and see the game. So we're really glad that we can do that for you. And with that, I will say thanks for joining us tonight. And we are Sounds Like Videos, James Hinkle, Stacy Hinkle, and Josh Williams saying thanks very much and see you next time.
And we will see you very soon. Josh?
1, 2, 3!
Aaron Collins, Missouri Farm Bureau. Jim Rasick, Auto Group. Sugarfoot Barbecue. Sounds Like Videos. Golden Valley Memorial Healthcare. Integrity Floors. The Landmark Restaurant. Clark Tire. C-Squared Embroidery and Screen Printing, Real-Time Photography, Primitive Old Crow and Winery, Bernard Tax and Bookkeeping, Laura Anstein, Anstein Realty and Auction, Creative Paint and Supply.